Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare Jayum Vishumpad Paramahansa Pariva Jakacharya Sita Dashisham His Divine Grace Abhaicharan Bhakti Vedanta Sai Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON BBT Founder Charge Jagaguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananda Koda Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Nam Charge Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Shri Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Go Bhakta Vrinda Ki Siddhara Krishna Go Gopinath Shama Saha Kalanda Sadasham Mesha Parano Ko Nidodita Narayana Namaskritchandaram Shaivam Narottama Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayat Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Now, by my calculation, we are in the 6th canto, chapter 3, text 30. Correcto? Ah, very good. Tat Shamyatam Sa Bhagavan Purusha Parano Tatsham Yatam Sa Bhagavan Purusha Parano Nārāyaṇa Sva Purusha Yad Asat Kritam Na Nārāyaṇa Svapurusha Yadasat Kritam Na Svanam Aho Na Gurusam Rachitanjalinam Svanam Aho Na Vidusam Rachitanjalinam Shantir Kariyasi Nama Purushaya Bhumne Shantir Hey, hold on. Shantir Garisya Namaha Purushaya Bhumne Nārāyaṇa Svapurusharya Rasat Kritam Na Svanamaho Na Vidusam Rachitanjalinam Okay. Tatsham yatam sabha shahamne Tatsham yatam svabhagavan purusha parano Nārāyaṇa svapurusha yarasat kritam na Svanam Aho Navirusam Tanjalina. Navis? Vaishnavis? Tat Shamyatam Swabhagavan Purusha. Shantagariya Sinama Purushaya Bhumne Tatshamyatam Swabhagavan Purusha Parano Nārāyaṇa Swapurushaya Rasatkritamna Svanam Mahona Vidusam Rachitanjalinam Shantir Gariya Sinama Purusha Bhumne Tat that Shamyatam let it be excused. Sa He Bhagavan the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purusha the Supreme Person. Paranaha the oldest. Nārāyaṇa Lord Nārāyaṇa. Swapurushai by his own servants. Yet which have surely committed a great offense by arresting a Vaiṣṇava such as Ajāmila. O Nārāyaṇa, O Supreme and oldest being, person, please forgive us. Excuse me. Because of our forgiveness, we failed to recognize Ajāmila as a servant of your Lordship, and thus we have certainly committed a great offense. Therefore, with folded hands, we beg your pardon. My Lord, since you are supremely merciful and are always full of good qualities, please pardon us. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Also you say. Then Yamarāja, considering himself and his servants to be offenders, spoke as follows. This person, please forgive us. Because of our ignorance, we failed to recognize Ajāmila. Therefore, with folded hands, we beg your pardon. My Lord, since you are supremely merciful, servants. If the servants of an establishment make a mistake, the establishment takes responsibility for it. Although Yamarāja is above offenses, his servants, practically with his permission, went to arrest Ajāmila, which was a great offense. The Nyaya Shastras confirm now, what time does the class 8 there? An honest man. Thank you very much. Okay, we will duly note that. Of a Vaiṣṇava. We know Yamarāja. People don't argue with Yamarāja. Prabhupada said, anyone here got a certificate from Yamarāja, even giving 5 extra minutes, So, and he's one of the Mahajans. So he's done. Of course, we all know what happens. He falls, he bumps his head. Next day, his friend sees him. Our foolish wood chopper's got a big bandage on his head. But he doesn't admit it. He says, to the friend who predicted, he said, you must be a great astrologer. You can see the future. So everybody's so proud in this world. And it's such a burden to carry when you think about it. Because, who are we? Misery is caused by the living entities. Misery is caused by the body and mind. Misery is caused by material nature. Adibautik, adidaivik, adiatmic. Conditioned souls, a tendency to commit mistake, illusion. You know the 4 defects. So he says, I think you better leave now. And he, ejected the man. Everyone was shocked. This man is going to be born in the Himalayas, wandering like Ashwatthama for lifetimes, or living in Calcutta with no arms and legs, begging in the gutter. What will happen to this man? Prabhupada's response? I must have offended him in a previous life. Now he's come to take his revenge.
Prabhupada was completely undisturbed by the whole thing. And as far as how would the man, Vaiṣṇava Parat, how will the man be saved? Everyone offered different proposals how the man would be saved, That he'd like I say, all this, born in Calcutta in the gutter, or, whatever it is, wandering in the Himalayas. How a Vaishnava was seen. So in this way, Arjavam, one of the qualities of a Vaishnava is they're simple. What is it? Not Yudhisthira Maharaj. One thing that helps me a lot, it's a short sutra. What is it? Bhavagrihi Janardanam. The Krishna knows what's in everyone's heart. He knows our mood. He knows our intent. He knows, So, we all commit so many mistakes, but we're sincerely trying to serve Krishna. And Krishna, low self-esteem, movement, and what will you think of me, and, I'm, whatever it is. There's so much pride and arrogance, as I was talking. So it's a very difficult thing for people to take responsibility and say, I'm sorry, I'll regret, let me make amends. It's a big deal. Try it in America, man. Yeah, they'll shoot you before they'll say they're sorry. So, I asked Prabhupada one time on a morning walk, I asked Srila Prabhupada, I was a young man once, let that be a lesson to all of you. I was a young man once, and I could not have been more than, I don't know, maybe 23, 24. I was just a boy, So I asked Srila Prabhupada, what does it mean to be one of your temple presidents? I think we had 6 or 7 devotees in the Ann Arbor, Michigan temple. We had a nice university. It was good preaching, but it was a small little temple. And I was feeling, I'm the temple president. So I asked, and I asked him, what does it mean to be one of your temple presidents? I thought that Srila Prabhupada was going to say, oh, you're one of my generals, on the front line, or you're one of my stalwarts. And I thought, in this way my ego would get even more. You think I'm puffed up now? You should have seen me then. So I thought, even like a big chapati, whoof, Prabhupada stopped. He put his cane down. He sized me up. It was a moment of quiet. He actually sized me up. And Prabhupada said, because I asked him, what does it mean to be one of your temple presidents? And Prabhupada said, it means if anything goes wrong, it's your fault. Which was great. Which was the actual situation. That wasn't, news you can use. That was legitimate, bona fide, good instruction, I'm Yamarāja taking responsibility. And we don't have to be afraid that what will people think. Because like I was saying, Bhavagrihi Janardanam, Krishna knows. Generally, we find that devotees are sincere souls. And Prabhupada tells a story. I'm a little off track, but that's not a... As far as being proud, Prabhupada saying even the pauper, that's how Prabhupada says it. He also says the borrowed plumes, but he says even a pauper is proud of his penny, So Tamal Krishna Maharaj told me this story. Tamal Krishna Maharaj, one of the heroes of our society, has passed away, but we're still benefiting from his, profound service. He was appointed, perhaps by Srila Prabhupada, maybe by Srila Prabhupada, as the temple commander. And I think there was a total of maybe 35 devotees. It was probably the biggest temple in ISKCON. I'm trying to think, but probably the biggest. And he wasn't so many unlimited universes, as many grains of sand there on the beach or stars in the sky are emanating out from the body of Mahavishnu. And then you think that Krishna expands again as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu in each of those little bubbles, the little universes. And we know that from his navel the lotus comes, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Brahma comes, Teni Brahma Hridaya, he creates all the planets. And then Prabhupada said, and in every planet there are so many continents. Got it, so many universes, and it's all just one breath of Vishnu. So one breath of Mahavishnu, so many universes, every universe, so many planets, every planet, so many continents, so many cities, every city, so many streets. This is Prabhupada was going on like this. Every street, so many buildings, every building, so many rooms. And one of those rooms is Tamal Krishna Das Brahma. It's actually a profound measure of things. Prabhupada gave the example. Prabhupada said that one of the signs of intelligence is the ability to balance opposing points within the mind. They appear to be opposing, but you can balance them. You find the, what is a comprehensive overall essence of the thing, synthesis and essence of the thing. So, Achinta Bheda Bheda Tattva, simultaneously one and different, and we balance those within our mind to have a complete understanding of the absolute truth. So similarly, we feel very insignificant. We feel that I am a tiny jiva, being tossed like a football. So without the other side of the coin, it becomes low self-esteem, and I'm useless, and I can't do anything. It becomes crippling. But what is the other side, the opposite side? Sudam Prabhu told me this. He was walking with Prabhupada in the LA airport. And anyone who's gone through an airport with Srila Prabhupada, some other time you ask me, I have so many airport stories, but the devotees would just take over the airport. Sprinkling rose water and flower petals and 15 Madanga kirtan and just too much. The whole place felt like it was lit up with effulgence, and Prabhupada sailing through and his... So Sudam said to Prabhupada, he said, Prabhupada, when I'm with you, I feel proud. I feel a little pride that I'm a disciple of Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. Is this a bad thing? Prabhupada said, no. Prabhupada said, you can think that by the grace of my Guru Maharaj, I am no longer a fool and a rascal. That we can think that Prabhupada said a Vaiṣṇava knows what is what and who is who. So we have that the shoes of knowledge, wisdom actually, can carry one across the path of life, all the difficulties in life. So we know that by the grace of my Guru Maharaj, I know who is who, I know what is what, I know what to do with the human form of life, I know how to actually help other people. So there should be a sublime, not an arrogance, but there should be a sublime confidence, satisfaction, peace of mind, and gratitude. There should be a gratitude that I have, by the grace of my Guru Maharaj, I'm no longer a fool and a rascal. So on one hand, devotees are meek and humble, and the other hand, they're very confident, very satisfied. And in that satisfied state, what are the devotees are Atmaram. Brahmabhuta Prasad down into the Ganga plain. Alexander the Great conquered so many things. Of course, everything fell apart behind him. That's another story. So he came upon the ashram of one sadhu, one saintly person. His nice little ashram, his little hut, his little garden, his goshala, his brahmachari, everything very peaceful and nice. And he's out there, the sadhu, the head of the ashram, in the morning sun. He's getting a little morning sun, Ayurvedic, very healthy. So Alexander the Great was impressed by the aura and the presence of the man. He said, I am Alexander the Great, King of Macedonia, conqueror. A long, long title. What can I do for you? Let me do something for you. Sadhu looked up and said, you could move out of my sun. You follow? Everybody. We're not trying to exploit or to take. I saw Prabhupada speak very heavily sometimes to people. When they were could not. I told it yesterday, 75, 76, something like that. And a man asked Srila Prabhupada, Indian gentleman, it was a darshan. When Prabhupada finished, it all bounced right off the man's bone head. And the man said, yes, Swamiji, but can you read my palm? Prabhupada said, all right, give me your hand. It was great. And Prabhupada was expert at everything. So the theatrics, Prabhupada clicked on the night light, took the man's hand. Prabhupada was studying very carefully. Then Prabhupada went, but the point. They'd actually got through his thick head. He got the point, But, that's a gentle example. But Prabhupada could be very heavy, Well, just for fun. Bhakti Sub Damodar, we're way off the track, but have you ever been to there's a gift shop now, but we used to lean out the window because you could hear Prabhupada. You're leaning out the window, you're only like from here to Tapan Mishra Prabhu, actually it says a straight line. So many so-called distinguished scholars, well-to-do people. And then you'd look up and hanging out of the brahmachari window like a bunch of monkeys. There'd be like... So we were heartbroken, but, he made a point. On one hand, we thought, yeah, it's true. We don't want to, impede Prabhupada's preaching, and, So, next day, Prabhupada comes, sits down. UCLA professors, I will get into it in a second. Professors are all sitting there. No devotees in the window. Prabhupada looks up, turns to Keshava, says, where are the brahmacharis? Prabhupada said, go and get them. Prabhupada wanted us to hear, he was training us. He was, teaching his disciples how you preach to these people. It was fantastic. We were in such happiness. We all came there. They were all back in the window. So, now I have to set it up a little bit. Evidently, earlier in the morning, on Prabhupada's morning walk, now Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, I think he'd finished his PhD. He was from USC, University of Spoiled Children. I mean, these are top universities, right? That's Stilson Judah was down from UC Berkeley. Prabhupada sits down and asks them, so, what is your field? What are you teaching? And one man says, I teach, philosophy of religion, they say, And Prabhupada just took it in. And expertly, of course, he turned to Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, young man sitting there next to him, and he said, they say they are teaching, but they do not know. What do we call that? And right off, that's called, full bore, Prabhupada said, my disciple says, one who teaches but doesn't know, claims to be a professor, but they're fools and rascals, there's cheater. What to do? And the thing is, Stilson Judah broke the ice. Stilson, he opened up. He said, actually, it's true, It became like a confessional. It was so sweet. But the thing is that, anyway, I could go on and on, but they took it because Prabhupada was selfless. They could sense that Prabhupada actually cared about them. He genuinely, there was no false ego, there was no... First off, he was right. He was profoundly logical. He was right. But even more than that, they say, what is it, so much percentage of communication is nonverbal? That here was someone who actually cared about them, who actually wanted to help them, who actually saw them as they were. Could see through their veneer of their big ego and pride and all the, and could see this is a bewildered, lost spirit soul. Let me try to help them find Krishna's lotus feet. And pious people responded to that. They could understand. Look at me, So I'm definitely speaking to myself here. But we should be very careful how we deal with devotees. On the wonderful qualities of Nārāyaṇa Swami. He's very peaceful, sober, deep thinker, kind-hearted, brave, so many things. Saintly person. So somehow or other, by my grace, my Krishna's grace, my good fortune, I was sitting next to Nārāyaṇa Swami on the veranda in Mayapur. Welcome to life as a GBC, you'll see. This devotee came up and just went off on everything. He was critical. The TOVP design and the Mayapur and book distribution and the translation in the books and the temple presidents and the GBC and those sannyasis. He went off on everybody. Sannyasis, brahmacharis. I was thinking. So the only person, only group, the only element of ISKCON he's not offended are the cows. And then he said, and that is cow. He went off. The guy's a perfect trifecta, He's managed to offend every element of Lord Chaitanya's mission, So this guy's really going for the gold. And, I apologize. I'm trying to get better, but I'm a passionate person. I was going to throttle him. I was just going to just let him have it, But by the grace of Nārāyaṇa Swami's association, I managed to control myself. And I thought, well, let me see. It was like an anthropological study. Let's see how Nārāyaṇa Swami responds to this rascal. So the guy finally ran out of steam, after he offended everybody a couple times. He didn't offend Prabhupada, to his credit. Everybody else. So Niranjana Swami took it all in, leaned back, and said, I can understand that you are very expert at finding fault. He said, I think if you study your own heart, you will find sufficient subject matter. Think about it. Is that cool? I mean, in other words, hey, you know, I'm so busy finding fault with everybody else. Why don't I spend time looking at my own heart? It'll keep me busy. I know my heart, the faults and shortcomings. You know, I don't have time to worry about other people. I've got my own anarthas and improvements and things I want to do in Krishna service. That's sufficient subject matter for me. So I thought, a way to go, you know. Such a nice answer. And Prabhupada said that Vaishnava etiquette, Vaishnava measure, Vaishnava discipline, is to be strict with ourselves and lenient with others. Now, if you have if you're the temple president or you're a GPC or a spiritual master, they say, spoil the rod, spare the child. You have to discipline. I mean, you have to correct somebody. You don't just blow on the boil. That's not a good doctor. So we're not saying some sentimental, I'm okay, you're okay. We're not saying that at all. But as far as our private, if our speaking is not our duty to help the person, it's not they're not our responsibility. Just like here, their servants are Yamarāja's responsibility. Therefore, he's reforming them. So we have a duty to reform those who are under our care. But random, this person, that person, why? Just as a sidelight for mental satisfaction, my experience is that the material nature is more than sufficient to humble everyone. Everybody, there's a verse in the Bible, and Prabhupada would sometimes quote, so it's okay. And it goes like this. It's, the wheel of justice turns slowly, but it grinds infinitely fine. I'll say it one more time. The wheel of justice turns slowly, but grinds infinitely fine. Everybody gets exactly what they, time, the material nature is going to take care of it. It's not my business to, judge everybody and straighten them out and show how I'm superior. Material nature, Krishna, that'll all take it. Let me take care of myself. What is it, Voltaire? Tend to your own garden first. Let me tend to my own garden. Okay. So, Prabhupada's story. Because, anyway, we'll tell the story. Prabhupada's story. So Prabhupada said how to deal with devotees, how to inspire them, how to, because we have a duty to be good association. We don't just take good association. We have a duty to be good association. We expect mercy, isn't it? My mind's agitated, I make some mistake. We expect the devotees to forgive us. He's trying, so many things. And one becomes so much happier. It's such a nicer way to live life, So, how to inspire others? Is it beating on their head? I told you 50 times, here's 52. Bang, 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 bang. Although sometimes Prabhupada says you do have to use a stick. There is, argumentum baculum or whatever Prabhupada says. But anyway, Prabhupada's story. The sun and the wind, Vayu and Surya, they were having a discussion who was stronger. Who's stronger? So they decided, okay, let's do an experiment. Let's do a field study. Okay? Scientific. So they concluded that they saw that there was a man walking along the road. Just an innocent person walking along with a coat on. And they said, okay, let's see who's stronger. Let's see who can make this man take his coat off. And you got the experiment? So the wind went first. And Vayu began blowing. Cold, piercing, pounding wind. What did the man do? Did he take the coat off? Think about it. Exactly. He pulled it on tighter and so much so it blew him over. He wasn't taking that coat off, that's for sure. Next came the sun. What did the sun do? Nice warmth. What did the man do? But as a general mood, that if we encourage, if we teach by example, if we encourage, Prabhupada says you teach the daughter-in-law by teaching the daughter. So if we set a good example, that's the best way to encourage people. Okay, so that's a little bit about a Vaishnava's heart. 16/32, 8/16, 2/4. But ultimately, what do they call it? The lowest common denominator? 1/2. It cannot be reduced any further. Breaks it down into the pure essence and lays it out as it is. There is no further understanding. There is no deeper meaning than is found in Srimad Bhagavatam. We think, well, geez, that's pretty fictitious imagination, or they have their explanation. In St. Joseph's Hospital, there was a time, I was doing book distribution many, many years ago. All we had was the 6th canto part 1, and on the back is the Yamadutas pulling Ajāmila out, I'm telling you, in America, you try to distribute that book. You give the book to people, they turn, whoa, okay, no thanks, They had enough Christians, hellfire, brimstone. It was tough. It was, for me, a neophyte, it was a tough. Vaisheshika could, sell them like bananas, win bunches. But, so it was all we had. And our temple president told us, you've got to sell those. And it made sense. We've got to reduce the inventory. You've got to sell all those 6 ones before we can order more books. We had to sell them. So here I was, batting it away. And we're at the University of Michigan, right out in front of the university. And I gave the Bhagavatam to a young lady. She turned it over. She looked at and I was, okay, this is where they hand the book back. She went white as a sheet. She was shocked, stopped in her tracks. She said, what does this book mean? And I tried to give my little neophyte. She said, no. She said, I'm a nurse at St. Joseph's Hospital. And we call this hearing the voices. She says, I work in the, what do they call it, critical care wing. Euphemistically, that's where they warehouse you. There's nothing they can do. Wave goodbye. You're going to die. So it's a critical care. So many people were dying. And amongst the nurses, it was, a shorthand language. They would say, because they're always managing how many beds are there, what's opening up, how many can they take, how many, where the mortuary is. So they would say, room number 8's hearing the voices. And someone would say, okay, that room will be open in a couple days. Hearing the voice, because they would describe. The patients on their deathbed would buzz, not everyone, but a significant number of them, that it became a regular phenomenon in the experience of the nurses. They would buzz. And they would say, get them away, can't you see? And they would describe whips, dogs, teeth, long hair, we're coming for you. They would literally lose control of their bodily functions. So, there it is. Modern day confirmed experience. Mr. Prakash, and we'll end here. Mr. Prakash, is this being recorded? He won't mind. South Indian Brahmin. Nice man. His wife is an initiated disciple of Jayapatakamar. She became a misunderstanding of impersonal Sankaracharya. And, you just couldn't juice him up. He would always you could always count. If Mr. Prakash raised his hand, it was going to be something about how impersonal understanding is better, in class. He was always criticizing the devotees, you're neophyte, you don't know this, you don't know that. He was all criticizing the devotees. His wife would bring him to the temple. She'd drag him to the temple. And he would ask some impersonal question, have some sarcasm of the devotees. So many things. The guy was flat out. They get that kind of green pallor. This guy was not coming back. At least, I've seen days, just because of Mrs. Prakash, and, it's our duty, and we'd have a little kirtan, and flat out, nothing from Mr. Prakash. The doctor told me, he said, you have to prepare them. The doctor was hard. He said, I'm a scientist, I'm a medical man, he's never recovering, he's brain dead, and you got to prepare the family. I said, well, give them a little time. He said, it'll take a miracle. You know, and I don't believe in miracles. That's what the doctor said to me. It'll take a miracle, and I don't believe in miracles. All right, whatever. After a few weeks, phone rings. It's Mrs. Prakash. Prakash has woken up. He's back. She said, but he won't speak to anyone but you. He won't talk to us. He won't talk to the doctor. You got to come. I thought maybe he's going to put us in his will, you know. Oh, zoom, I took off right away, you know. He didn't. So I got there. And as soon as I walked in, he's sitting up. He's coherent. He's surrounded by his relatives. You know, doctor was there, nurses. Hey, they came for me. I said, what? Vishnu Dutas? He said, no. He said, the bad people. No. He said, no. And then the nurse said, yes, we moved him several times. They were thinking, the household hospital staff had moved him. He said, no. So then his dimwit relatives chimed in, oh yeah, we came to see him, but he was sleeping, so we came so many times. He said, no, Mr. Prakash, no. So I said, who? I said, the Vishnu Dutas? He said, no. He said, no, the bad people. So I said, okay. He said, first time they came, they said, we're coming for you. Then they went away. He said, then they came again. He said, we're coming for you. He said, but my wife's a devotee. Still, according to Mr. Prakash, they came again. And Mr. Prakash, you know, he's a South Indian Brahmin, so there's many saintly, don't get me wrong, but he has that smart side that he got a little ticked off. Right. So when he said, take me or leave me, stop bothering me. Take me or leave me. I belong to Radha Giridhari. The Yamadutas went away. He woke up and he was in full consciousness. And I swear to you, if you come to the Sunday feast, you will see Mr. Prakash. He's a little dinged by the experiences. He's the factual existence of the Yamadutas. Okay, thank you for sitting so patiently, Hare Krishna. Glories to Prabhupada. And just in time to go take prasad. Hey, woman. It is recorded. That's why I send it to Mr. Prakash. He'll like it. No, he's nice. He's nice now. He's a humble, nice guy. Here you go. I better I pack it, otherwise I'll forget something. What are you all waiting for? Time for prasad. Bye-bye. Do we have my glasses? See if my glasses are really good. Oh. ISKCON Ujjain. This is a nice setup. Yeah, because there's some room on the side. It actually holds the book. I've studied the matter carefully. It comes close. It's the right height. Nicely done.
He's in charge. He's making it.
Huh?
We have a department. We make it here.
That's very nice. Very good.
We can send one to
I'll talk to our temple president. I'll take a snap of it. Oh, it's very nice. It looks nice, but it's functional. They have a Vyasa-san.
Yeah.
They have a Vyasa-san in one temple I visited. It's on wheels, so they can roll it out, but I didn't know. I got on the thing.